Welcome back to another video on the orientation. In this video, we will be doing a lot of reading, unlike the previous video that you may have watched already. So this video kind of presents you the administrative policies. Please pay attention to everything that is presented here and also go through every policy that is present in the orientation module. First of all, we are beginning with the documentation, the submissions of the documents. And keep this in mind that students must submit all the required documents within 3 months from the date of their enrollment. And failing to submit would actually result in a provisional admission status, and that may even delay the graduation timelines for you. And as we have reminded you before, that you have to submit only scanned copies. Photos, images will not be accepted. You have to submit only the scanned copies. And as we have spoken about the recommendation letter, so a letter from an individual who can vouch for your passion for theological studies, that is needed, that you should submit that. And this could be a mentor or a pastor or a leader of a church or maybe an organization. This letter could be emailed to our office directly. And students also must provide a letter detailing about their personal testimony, which we have already spoken about in the previous video that you have gone through, and then a soft copy of a formal digital profile image should be submitted. This is very important that you do it, because we need to maintain your profile, so your image is very important for us. And also an Aadhaar card or maybe a national identity card is another important thing. So registration with ATA is contingent on these things. If you fail to submit any of these things, then the registration with ATA can be pending for you. So make sure that you complete all these documentation. And non-bachelor degree holders, as we have told you, that you have to present a document that can be verified. Okay, you have to give us a document, a scanned document would be fine, detailing, like somebody else writing it for you, that you have had at least 5 years of ministry experience, and that must be on a letter pad of a church or maybe some other association or an organization. So it has to be documented. If you do not have a bachelor degree, if you have a bachelor degree or a master's degree, then it is not needed for you to do so. Make sure that all the documents are submitted in the right kind of format, otherwise they may not be accepted. Moving on to the policies on roll number. Now at the beginning you may not be given a roll number immediately, but if you have completed at least 3 modules within the program, you will be assigned a roll number. Or else if you have continued successfully in the programs at least for a period of 6 months, then you are eligible for a roll number. Now why we do not issue a roll number at the very beginning of the admission? It is because a lot of students at the very beginning, they have a lot of energy and enthusiasm and passion, but down the line, just a month later, they would come to realization that it takes a lot of commitment to continue in the online education. So they would kind of go back. They would lose their encouragement. They may think about dropping it. So we didn't want to have too many drops and then issuing roll numbers too many. So this is the reason that it's mandatory that you have a roll number. It's mandatory that you complete at least 3 modules before you can be issued your roll number. Or if you have successfully continued in the program for 6 months, then you will be issued a roll number. For the administrative purpose, you will have a reference number. Like for every single application that we receive, there will be a reference number. Moving on to the policies on the credit system. The programs, individual programs, every program has its own credit structure, and like the MDU program is 96 credits, and the MABS program is 95 credits, and the graduate diploma in Christian studies could be somewhere around 33 or 34 credits, if I remember correctly. So just go through the credits that are assigned for every single program, and you have to complete all the credits. 1 credit would mean 40 hours of learning. Okay, single credit hour means 40 hours of your time in the learning. Okay, so you can understand, like most of our courses, majority of the courses, like 90% of the courses in all our programs are 3 credits, except a few which have like 1 credit, and that is actually for the administrative purposes. But majority of the courses, all of them have 3 credits. And so if a course is 3 credits, that means you are expected to spend roughly around 120 hours learning the course content. Okay, and this 3 credit course is like it spans over 8 weeks, so it would take around 8 weeks for you to complete. It would take around 8 weeks for you to complete if you keep up with the pace. Like from the administrative point of view, we offer the course in the duration of 8 weeks. So if you complete according to our expectations, you should be able to complete the course by the end of the 8th week. But sometimes you may not be able to, but in that cases you can ask for an extension, and it would be permitted by the course facilitator or at times by the administration itself. Now when you're taking a course at the very beginning, like when you're admitted, you are not encouraged to take, you're not allowed actually to take more than one course at a given time. Once you're familiar with the entire system, or maybe if you have already a lot of theological educational experience before, then in that case you may be allowed. But general understanding is that in the first year of your education, you're allowed to take, like given that you are taking the MD program, which would take a minimum of 3 years or a maximum of 5 years. So in that first year you're allowed to take only single course at any given time. Later in the second and third years, you can take 2 courses at a given time, so that you could reduce the duration of your program. It applies for PG, graduate diploma, and also MA. Like if you do your best and then you start to take 2 courses at a given time, then you can technically reduce a lot of duration that may kind of go further beyond the prescribed duration for the course. Policies on the coursework completion. Students are expected to complete all assigned coursework by the due date specified in the course syllabus. It's important that you pay attention to the due dates that are given there in the course syllabus, and this includes video lectures and readings, discussions, assignments, and quizzes, and any projects or examinations. And so early submission is encouraged so that you do not have any last minute technical issues. And in certain cases of health issues, or maybe like unanticipated things happen in the life of a candidate, then in those cases extensions will be provided to those individuals. And all the submissions should have this Turabian format that is going to be provided at a later point of time along this course. All the documents should be submitted only in a PDF format. Keep that in mind. And if you have submitted an assignment after its due date without getting consent from the teacher or maybe the facilitator of that course, you may be given a grade penalty because it is not excused or you're not allowed, but you have submitted at a later point of time. So because of the delay, you will be given a little bit of grade penalty based on the duration, like how many days of delay you have actually done in before you submit the assignments. If you're having any difficulties in relation to submitting your assignments within the due date, you should actually report to us immediately. And at certain times, you may have to document in case Canvas is acting up or some kind of technical issue where it is not allowing you to submit on time or before the time. Then it's better that you keep a documentation, maybe take a screenshot or something, so that it could save you from grade losses at a later point of time. Moving on to the active online presence. It's very important that you stay committed from the day you join the program. Okay, keep this in mind. It takes a lot of discipline and commitment to continue in the online education. So students are expected to log into Canvas at least every 48 hours. We generally expect that you go back to Canvas on a daily basis, but even if you miss, it is expected that you visit Canvas at least once every 48 hours in case any announcements are made, or you have grades or feedback from the facilitators, or any updates are present in the course. And also to be up to date with the unit and course workload, it is important that you regularly visit Canvas learning management system. And the students also must actively engage with the peers through discussion forums and also with the facilitators through Canvas inbox. Just maintain open communication, at the same time maintain professional decent behavior as you engage with one another. There would be consequences if there will be any misbehaviors noticed in between a teacher and a student or in between opposite sex. So please keep that in mind as you converse with the other students and also as you converse with the facilitators or any teachers. If you have any difficulties anytime, just get in touch with us. We will definitely provide the needed guidance. Also, academic integrity, which we will talk about it later, that you have to respect the opinions of others and you should avoid plagiarism, copy pasting from anywhere, also maintaining a professional tone in communication. All these are very, very important. You stay active if you are planning to succeed in the online programs. Unless you have this discipline where you have a regular schedule, like this is my time, okay, like these 1 hour or 2 hours I'm gonna spend studying. Unless you have this kind of a strict schedule, it is very difficult for you. If you think I'll come back and study when I find time, you will never be able to complete a course. So you have to have this mindset that I have to have a time assigned for my learning. All the academic work, all your submissions must represent your own abilities. Like it should be your own work. Okay. Other people cannot be writing it for you and you cannot be copying from somebody else's. The work that you submit, answers, anything that is expected to be written by you, you should do it. Okay. Keep this in mind. So misrepresentation of one's work or others, it's totally prohibited and that would have consequences. Keep that in mind. And if you are borrowing it from anywhere, you should acknowledge it properly according to the Turibian format that you would be learning. Make sure that you would complete that orientation on theological research and writing. Plagiarism, it's a serious academic offense if you have plagiarized or borrowed or copy pasted from somebody without giving the credit. Also remember that you have to use the exact words of somebody only when you cannot rephrase it, or when you want to quote a particular statement or a paragraph, you do that and then you give a footnote at the bottom. Okay, keep this in mind. If you're just going to borrow pages and pages, it will not be accepted. If you're going to borrow like half page when your assignment is only 2 or 3 pages, it will not be accepted. So keep that in mind as well. No cheating would be allowed, and then also fabrication or any academic dishonesty will not be tolerated. Like if you have somebody, maybe your spouse also joining the same program and then both of you are studying together, if anything is found as academic dishonesty, then that would have consequences. Sometimes you may be asked to leave or drop the program. So keep that in mind, that you stay honest in your academic pursuits. Moving on, the course examination. So it could include examinations like quizzes, mid-course exams, the final exams, a couple of other things. Okay, the format and the timing and the content of each examination, like how it should be written and when should be submitted and what should be there within the answers, all will be clearly communicated to you on the learning management system itself on that particular item. If you open it, you would be able to find these instructions within there. Again, maintain academic integrity during all your examinations. Now, we allow open book examination. That doesn't mean that you just copy paste things. Okay, that is not the intention. Is that you are allowed to refer to videos or anything, resources, but at the end of the day, the intention is that you study and then you rewrite it on your own. Okay, just keep that in mind when you do especially the examinations. You will have grading and feedback that is provided by the course facilitator or a teacher depending on that particular course. If you have any issues with grading or all those things, you can get in touch with us, or you can even make a request to the academic office. Please go through what is provided over there. And also the grading system, like here you have the grading scale A plus to F. Keep that in mind that 60 is the grade for pass. Okay, above 60 is considered. From 60 onwards, it is considered as pass, and anything that is below 59 and below is considered as fail in a course. Keep this in mind that you cannot be having all the courses just 60s or 61, 62, 65 like that, because you need to have the aggregate average. Like when you put all these subjects together, you should have an average of 70. Okay, you should have an average of 70% when at least 6 subjects are put together in a sequence. You should have that a minimum 70% of the aggregate average. Otherwise, like your grades will be too low and then you will not be able to graduate again. So if you have, let's just take a look here on one of the things. So students who received a failing grade in any course are encouraged to consult with the respective course facilitator. If you have failed in a course, you are supposed to be contacting that course facilitator for guidance on what should be done next. Okay, and depending on the circumstances, it may be necessary for the student to retake the course to fulfill the academic requirements. Like course facilitator will be the one who decides what should be the next step. In certain cases, you may be allowed to redo an assignment or redo an examination, but at other times you may be asked to retake the entire course itself. If you ever feel like the grade that I have received is not appropriate, then you can always raise a request to the facilitator, and then if that is not resolved, then you can raise to the dean's office directly. Okay, and keep this in mind that you have to check your grades regularly. You have to make any appeals within that month itself, like within a month from the date the grades are released. Within a month you have to raise whatever the appeal that you want to make. At a later time, this will not be accepted. So you have to make sure that you are checking your final grades once the grades of a subject are finalized. Once grades are finalized, only any clerical errors, like if some mistake has happened from our side, then we would be able to rectify it. But if you haven't already dealt with it previously, it may be very difficult for you to discuss about your grade at a later point of time. And in certain cases, with the involvement of dean, like if your appeal is successful, then your grade may be altered, but always keep this in mind to raise your request within a month itself, and all the final grades will be reflected on your official transcripts. So let's take a break here, and then we'll come back to the remaining policies that are part of this orientation process.